Hey, think you know your stuff when it comes to South Africa's kind of wild and varied weather? Well, today we're going to find out. We're diving into a fun little quiz that covers all the basics: the sun, the wind, and especially the rain. Let's see if you're a real weather whiz.
All right, here's how it's going to work. I'll ask the questions, you play along at home. Let's see just how many you can get right. Ready? Okay, let's jump right in.
And to kick things off, let's start with round one. This is all about rainfall. You know, South Africa's rain is a story of extremes, from super dry deserts to these lush green coasts. Getting a handle on the rain is really the key to understanding the whole country.
First question's up. What exactly do people mean when they use the term annual rainfall?
It's exactly what it sounds like. It's the grand total of all the rain a place gets over an entire year. So picture this. If you could put out a giant bucket and catch every single raindrop for 365 days, the amount in that bucket would be your annual rainfall. It's a super important number for, well, pretty much everyone.
Okay, you've probably heard this phrase before. South Africa's rainfall is unevenly distributed. So, what does that actually mean?
It's pretty simple, really. It just means that some parts of the country get absolutely drenched, while other parts are incredibly dry. And that huge difference is why you see such amazing different landscapes all over the country. You know, from the beautiful Garden Route to the arid Kalahari.
Next up, for the biggest part of South Africa, which season brings most of the rain?
You got it, it's summer. For most of the country, that's when the rain comes down. It's why you get those amazing and sometimes really intense thunderstorms on a hot summer afternoon.
But of course, not everywhere is a summer rain zone. So can you name the two provinces that are famous for getting most of their rain in the winter?
Yep, it's the Western Cape and parts of the Northern Cape. They've got more of a Mediterranean climate. So when those cold fronts roll in from the Atlantic, they bring the rain. That's why Cape Town is known for those wet, chilly winters.
So we've got summer rain, we've got winter rain, but where in South Africa might you need to keep an umbrella handy pretty much all year long? You'll find that steady all-year-round rain along the southern and eastern coast. That whole stretch gets a little bit of everything, both the winter cold fronts and the summer moisture, so there's no single big rainy season. It just kind of rains all the time.
All right, time to get a little bit technical. You've probably seen a rainfall graph on a weather report before. What is it actually showing you?
It's a really cool and simple chart. Those bars just show you the average amount of rain for each month. So with one quick look, you can see the whole story of a city's climate, when it's wet and when it's dry.
Okay, let's put that knowledge to the test. If you were looking at rainfall graphs for South Africa's big cities, which one would have the tallest bars during the winter months, like June, July, and August?
You nailed it. It's gotta be Cape Town. Because of that winter rainfall pattern we talked about, its graph would show a huge spike right in the middle of the year. See? It's a perfect example of how the data just confirms what we already know.
And on the flip side, which major city's graph would totally peak during those hot summer months like December, January, and February?
For sure, that would be Durban. It's sitting right there on that humid east coast, so it gets all of its rain from those big summer thunderstorms, and you would see that clearly on its rainfall graph.
Okay, last question for round one. This one connects the rain to the things that grow because of it. What's the definition of natural vegetation?
It's basically all the plants and trees that grow in a place all on their own. No gardens, no farms, no help from people. Think about the unique fynbos in the Western Cape. It grows there because it's perfectly adapted to that specific soil and that specific winter rainfall pattern. It's like nature's own blueprint for an area.
And that's round one. Fantastic job, everyone. You're getting the hang of this. So let's move on to round two and talk about some bigger ideas: weather and climate.
All right, this is the classic question, the big one. What is a super simple way to remember that really important difference between weather and climate? Here's the best way to think about it. Weather is the outfit you decide to wear today. Climate is your entire wardrobe. See? One is just a snapshot of right now, and the other is the whole long-term story.
Next question. We've all felt it, especially on a sticky, muggy summer day. But what exactly is humidity?
It's really just the amount of water vapor that's hanging out in the air. When the humidity is high, your sweat can't evaporate off your skin very well. And that's why a hot day in a humid place like Durban can feel so much more intense than an even hotter but drier day somewhere else.
Okay, let's zoom in on a city again. How would you describe the overall climate of Johannesburg? That's right, it's that classic high-veld climate. It's up at a high altitude, which keeps things a bit cooler, and since it's in that summer rainfall zone, you get those two very different, very predictable seasons.
So, when you watch a weather report, they're always focused on three main things that really define what's happening outside. Can you name those three elements?
Temperature, wind, and rainfall. Yep, those are the big three. And it's because they're the ones that affect us the most directly, from what clothes we put on, to whether it's safe to travel, to how our food grows.
All right, here we are, the final question of our quiz. It's something we probably all check on our phones every single day. What is a weather forecast?
It's really just a scientific prediction. Using tons of data and these super complex computer models, it's our best educated guess about how those big three, temperature, wind, and rain, are going to behave in the near future.
And that's a wrap. You did it. How'd you do? Hey, whether you got every single one right or just learned something new, you are now officially a South African weather whiz. Seriously, great job.
But all this talk about weather patterns kind of makes you think, doesn't it? We've just explored all these predictable climates, winter rains in the Cape, summer storms up in Johannesburg. So as our global climate continues to change, what do you think is going to happen to these local patterns we count on? Now that's the next big question. Thanks for playing along.